Jeffrey Shirt. I'm coming here live to you from the Changing Times Ale House here in East Northport, New York, on Long Island, home of the world famous wings. I just want to let you know, folks, I'm sorry about missing the first 2 weeks of the season. We had some production problems, but we're going to be here right through the Super Bowl. And what we're going to do also is we're going to have a part 1 and a part 2, because there's a lot of games to cover, and we want to make sure that you get your betting information all about the games. So let's go right into it this week. We're going to look at the first game this week. It's Washington at Detroit. Washington is 1-1. Detroit is 0-2, going nowhere. Detroit is getting 6.5 in this game. I'm telling you, this is a game where Detroit is 0-2 against the spread. I like Washington in this game. How about you?
Jim Zorn for a quarterback coach doesn't show that much confidence in his quarterback. All the red zone appearances after the first quarter last week, all runs except for one pass, 4 halfback quarters, which failed. I like Detroit's offense, so at least cover the spread.
I like Detroit also in this game. Washington barely beat the Rams 9-7. They lost in the spread case. I mean, I got to agree with you on this one. I think Detroit's due for at least not winning the game, but at least closing it. You know, keeping it close.
Next game, Green Bay at St. Louis. St. Louis is getting 6.5 points. Green Bay needs to bounce back from a terrible loss last week in Cincinnati at home. St. Louis is a good team to bounce back against. They only scored 7 points the whole season so far. Yeah. I'm going to go with Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay looked pretty bad last week. Carson Palmer lit up Green Bay's defense in the third and fourth quarters. Rams are 1-1 against the spread, but let me tell you something. Poor Rams, Green Bay is looking to bounce back on a big game. They're only giving 6.5. I see Green Bay definitely to win this game big. Give the points and take Green Bay. Next game, you got San Francisco at Minnesota. This is the first real test, I think, for Minnesota. Minnesota has been beating Detroit and Cleveland. So what? I mean, come on. They covered, Minnesota covered in the first 2 games. Okay, the 2-0 versus the spread. San Francisco's getting 7 on the road. I like San Francisco here. Sean Hill is 9-3 as a starter. That's, hey, he's looking good. I like San Francisco.
I like San Francisco. I'm not going to take them. Mike Singletary's done a good job making the team much better. They did have 2 good wins this season. Like you said, this is their first test this year. I think Minnesota needs to step up. They want to be a big team this year, and I think they'll do that. Take Minnesota.
I like San Francisco. Yeah, well, San Francisco's got to stop Jared Allen, Vikings, otherwise Sean Hill is going to be eating dirt all day long. So, but big factor here, I like San Francisco.
Atlanta at New England. Atlanta's getting 4 points. Matt Ryan makes his comeback back in Boston after playing in BC. I think he'll put up good numbers. He's got Tony Gonzalez and Michael Turner, like you said.
Oh, yeah.
They can do a lot of damage. They have so far. New England's D is sort of in repair mode. They lost Teddy Bruschi, Mike Vrabel, Richard Seymour, Ellis Hobbs. They're kind of in inputs right now.
I'll tell you, in this game, I like Atlanta. It's Matt Ryan's first game on the road. Atlanta's 2-0 again, 2-0 this year at home. First real test. Belichick is definitely going to throw different things at Matt Ryan, even though, but I still think, New England coming off that road loss against the Jets. Hey, it's a bitter loss, but I think Matt Ryan and Atlanta, Tony Gonzalez on the road, I think he's going to have a big game in New England. It's like I said, I'm coming for Matt Ryan. I see Atlanta take this game, and I like Atlanta plus 4 points in this game. I think, New England wins. It's just going to be barely.
I think they'll definitely cover the spread. They got explosive offense.
And in the next game, we got Tennessee versus the Jets. I mean, the Jets are on a roll right now. They won in Houston. They beat New England at home. Tennessee's getting 2.5 points here. Tennessee's horrible right now. They're 0-2. They're 1-1 against the spread. Barely covering against Pittsburgh. Sanchez is looking remarkable. I mean, he just, came over there and against New England. The Texans are a horrible road team. When Tennessee lost last week. I like the Jets in this one, Jets are very good.
As well. Albert Hainsworth is a big loss on that team. Kyle Vandenbach has really done nothing since Hainsworth The only mistake he made led to a touchdown. It's the only touchdown the Jets have given up on you. So
I like the Jets.
I also like they defer the coin toss the last two games to give the defense a chance to make their statement. Home and brought the crowd into it. Hopefully they'll do it again this year, this game, and I think they'll take it as well. Jets. Kansas City at Philadelphia. Kansas City getting 9.5 points. Kevin Cobb threw for almost 400 yards last week.
They lost.
They did lose. He threw 3 interceptions as well, so that was a killer. Westbrook needs to lead this team. He always has. And Garcia is available. I think he's a decent candidate for Cobb. He knows the offense. He was there a couple years back, and I think he'll be all right.
I like also Philly in this game. I think Philly is going to cover the spread against Kansas City. Kansas City cannot beat anybody. Cannot beat anybody. Castle is not playing like he did in New England. He doesn't have the same team around him. He has no offensive line. Look for Philly. This is a comeback game. After losing big to New Orleans at home against Drew Brees and company, they are going to pick KC apart. You take Philly, you lay the 9.5. I mean, they're looking to bounce back. You got the next game. You got the Giants at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay at home is getting 6.5 points. I mean, last week Romo to Dallas had 3 interceptions, and the Giants still needed a late field goal to beat Dallas. I mean, Manning looked good, but you know, still the Giant defense gave up some. Manning, you know, it's like Dallas made a lot of mistakes in this game. I like the Giants in this game. I like the Giants to really roll over Tampa Bay and reduce the mistakes.
So I'll take the Giants as well. Tampa Bay's not that good of a team. I like Leftwich. He's got Kellen Winslow, Kyle Williams, and Tony O'Brien. I still don't think it's going to be enough. The defense is sort of in shambles right now. Aaron Manningham, Steve Smith last year had 283 yards passing, combined to 284. Kind of makes you forget.
Well, I'll tell you this, Leftwich last week put up 50 passes, and they still lost. I mean, Tampa Bay is 0-2 and 0-2 against the spread. So, hey, you know, what can I say? I like the Giants big on this game. Unless they don't usually have 2 weeks in a row where they have a lot of mistakes.
Jacobs, he hasn't been much this year because he was stepping up this week. Cleveland at Baltimore. Cleveland's getting 13.5 points, and I'll take Baltimore. Baltimore, always known for their defense. This year's number 1. They scored the most points in the AFC this year. Number 2, NFL, second only to New Orleans.
I'll tell you this right now, Cleveland is 0-2 against the spread. 4 points the first week, 3 points the second week. This week, hey, the gambler's got to say 13.5. I mean, look, the Browns are going nowhere. I like Baltimore in this game. I mean, you know, it should be a blowout game for Joe Flacco in Baltimore. Come on, Baltimore Ravens here.
Cleveland's made up of half rejects from that Mangini.
Yeah, Mangini is destroying Cleveland. Cleveland's going nowhere. So that's the end of part 1 this week. We are going to go into part 2. I want you to tell you what I'm coming from the Changing Times Ale House in East Northport, New York. I'd like to say shout out to everybody and check in on part 2 for the rest of the games of the NFL schedule. Talk to you shortly.